How you guys doing? This is Gage and Matt with ShirtCycle. Today we're going to talk about hiring the right tech co-founder, and this is probably the single most important decision that any young tech company faces. I'm very fortunate. I have two amazing tech co-founders, but I'm also on my second tech co-founder for each business. So I've made some mistakes and I've learned along the way.
So I'm not one of the co-founders, by the way. Oh, time out. I'm not one of the tech co-founders.
You're just the face of the business.
Just the looks. Anyways, how do you find the right tech co-founder, by the way?
So I look for three things, and we'll call them the 3 Ps. So it's personality, platform, and place in life.
Now, let's start off with platform. What do you mean by platform?
So, you don't need to know how to code. For example, I can't code, but you need to know what language your tech partner or coder is using, and you want to make sure that they're using the platform of the future and not the past. So what I mean by this is our first partner on the tech side, he was using Joomla, which is a CMS system that more or less has been replaced by WordPress, and at the time we really needed Ruby on Rails. And if you want to have a modern design, you need to make sure you're using a modern language. Another tip is to find a design template to make sure that you're designing mobile first the whole time. So theme forests and stuff like that, you can find a template. You'll spend less time designing and more time testing, which is important when you have a small team.
Now, when you're looking for tech co-founders, would you say age is a factor?
It can be. For example, our first founder, he was in his 40s. He did IT at an investment bank, and investment banks are not really focused on design, and it's very critical for a startup. They're more focused on process flows and functionality and things of that nature. So, the second person was younger. He had a fashion tech background, and that was a better fit for our business. So again, I'm not here to say that age really makes a difference, but be mindful of the platform that people are using and what their experience is, because people don't like change. That's great consumer behavior for any startup to know. Because people aren't going to change overnight. So if someone's been comfortable with a certain language for a long time and that language or platform may not fit what your vision is, then you need to be mindful of that.
Okay, cool. And let's talk about the second P, personality.
Yeah, so in my opinion, you want a type A personality. You want someone who's going to take ownership of their work and tell you when they're wrong, because they know a lot about these decisions and you need to make sure that they are our voice in all that, and not just kind of going off and that's why having a tech co-founder as an equity partner, as part of the original team is so important versus trying to just freelance it, because you need someone who's not only going to execute but help steer the tech direction.
Yeah.
And then, if they're too laid back, then they may not have that sense of urgency, the sense of the world's on fire that sometimes startups need to make sure that they're, always going for it. And then, the other thing is, they're the ones coding it. They know where to look for messes, so it's very important that they take pride in their work. For example, when I was an analyst at Deutsche Bank, I knew most likely where my model would be busted, not the associate or VP who was checking it. So, when you're a small team, you can't have layers and layers of people checking stuff, so you want to make sure that your tech person is checking things and looking in the right places to make sure that the site is clean and operating well.
Makes sense. And now, last P, place in life.
Yeah, so what's interesting here is that you want to make sure, does your tech co-founder, he or she, really need this to succeed? And if so, how much? Is this a hobby or is this a future career path that they are dead set on happening? Because, your team is as strong as its weakest link, and you need to make sure that everyone's all in. There's other factors like, can the spouse of your tech partner support them if it takes longer for your business to grow or scale than you anticipate? Can that person game their, do they have a job with flexibility? Do they have, maybe they work from home? Do they have, a job that they can game where maybe they could only work 25 hours and then free up time to work on your business? So all those things, really make a big difference. And the key is understanding, it's about people and what is motivating people. Is it ego, pride, love of risk, fear of failure? Having an understanding of what's driving each of your partners and tapping into that, that's really important, because at the end of the day, as a CEO, you're really just, a manager of people. And, for me, my team, we worked a long time and, before we really kind of made it. And, people worked, they didn't get money, but they believed in what we were doing. They believed in each other and they didn't want to dilute themselves. And that ultimately is what kind of made the difference. And, we talk about this because a tech co-founder is probably one of the first decisions you're going to make. And the earlier the decision is, the more outsize its influence on the trajectory of your business. So you got to have the right team. You got to make sure that you have the right tech co-founder the first time. Otherwise, you're going to, have a team or an anchor around your leg that may not allow you to accomplish your goals as quickly as you like. And again, take your time in this decision. It's really about fit. But definitely evaluate not just the skill level, but the personality and the place in life, and all those factors really play a role in finding the right tech co-founder.
Makes sense.
Cool.
Great.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks.